Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about why we need environmental engineers in the middle of a pandemic, particularly COVID-19. My name is Imari Walker and I am a fifth-year PhD student studying environmental engineering and recently got her master's in environmental engineering. When I think about environmental engineering in particular, I think about the combination of different kinds of disciplines like chemistry, biology, geology, hydrology, even computer science, to really go towards a common goal of protecting our environment and protecting human health. What kind of entities are we really working towards? We're trying to protect our water, our air, and our waste from impacting us and our environment. In the middle of a pandemic, we can think of a couple of different ways that environmental engineers play an important part in managing this. The first is through our water. Environmental engineers are a part of a team that as soon as you flush your toilet, wash your hands, even do a load of laundry, all of that water and waste gets combined and ends up in our sewer lines and has to be treated before it ends up in our streams and our lakes. Now, if you're someone who has COVID-19, that virus can end up being released in your waste, whether that's just your excrement or feces, and parts of the RNA of that virus in particular are present. We can measure that in our wastewater to really detect how much of the community has COVID-19 and get just approximate measures of how things are growing or decreasing over time. This is great because it's complementary to getting tested if we're not testing enough of the population, or if a lot of them are asymptomatic and not getting tests. We can really know where it is, how it's traveling, and how it's growing. And that's with the help of, a team of environmental engineers managing water and wastewater and making sure that that's cleaned out properly before it's released into our waterways. The next thing I think about is our air. So this virus can carry in water droplets. Whether we're breathing, or we're talking, sneezing, coughing, we're releasing water droplets carrying that virus that can spread to other people. For environmental engineers, they study the way that air flows, the way particles move and collide with each other. And so they're definitely a part of the team that models the way that these particles are moving in indoor and even outdoor environments. So we're talking our diners, our restaurants, movie theaters, and how the air conditioner could be changing the direction and flow of these particles, along with how effective masks are, or different types of masks in releasing these particles, to when you're running outside and how far apart you need to stay. Environmental engineers are definitely a part of the team that help model this and really understand these droplets and the virus that's carried within them. The final thing that environmental engineers are very important for is waste. So it's not really something that we think about commonly, but if we're all using disposable masks and gloves that are made of plastic, well, we're going to be accumulating a lot of that waste. Especially if it's not a medical setting, it's really not the most appropriate thing to do when we have reusable masks and we have reusable gloves at our fingertips that we can totally use. Environmental engineers are very important in understanding how much waste is being accumulated associated to the pandemic and trying to mitigate that, because these things like our disposable masks and gloves can end up in our oceans. There was an article released saying that they predict that there's just about as many masks that are disposable in the ocean as jellyfish. And it's probably going to increase if we all keep using disposable masks versus a reusable mask that we can just easily wash and use again the next day. Those are the different elements that I can think of for why environmental engineers are essential in the middle of a pandemic, for understanding this virus and being a part of the team that is trying to keep us safe and protected, and along with protecting our health, protecting the health of the environment. If you have any other ideas of how environmental engineers are important to the pandemic, please leave them below in the comments. And don't forget to leave a like down below. And if you're new here, please subscribe. And I hope you check out the rest of my channel. Thank you again.